Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I just want to start off by saying all praise be to Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, the most powerful. It's only Him we worship, only Him we bow down to, and only Him we turn to when we're in need. I'd also like to send peace and blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Alhamdulillah, jazakallah khair for the community of Imam Shakil, and also the brothers that have done this, and also for the brothers that have come here today. Alhamdulillah, I'm nobody but a layman. I speak about my past life in the sense where I don't brag about it, nor do I glorify it. It's a life of misery, a life of destruction, a life of upsetting people, a life of upsetting your own soul, to be honest, because you know what you're doing is nothing but trying to follow your desires and trying to be amongst those that you think are living a good life, like what you see on YouTube, where you see the rappers do, where you see these guys and these so-called entrepreneurs. A lot of these entrepreneurs, they're actually stealing money from people and selling courses instead of actually making them make money. So like I said to you, I feel like this lifestyle that I think a lot of the youth are trying to go down, it's a very, very hideous lifestyle, that it is not upon us as Muslims to go down that path. But like I said to you, I'm not here to brag about my life or the lives of certain brothers around me, or even the lives of people that I know in and out of prison and so on and so forth. But best believe, like Imam Shakil said, alhamdulillah, I had the pleasure of being with my family, especially when my mother passed away. Allah yarhamha, ameen. Wallahi, you know, they have a saying that says that when you're about to die, and I've been in that experience when I'm about to die, I've been nearly shot on 3 different occasions. And I've been in the stabbing where I've been on life support and so on and so forth. But you know what they say, when you're about to die, your life flashes before your eyes. To me, that doesn't exist. I don't really believe that. In reality, my life flashed before my eyes when my mother passed away. Because every bad and every good, even good that you've done for your mother, will flash before your eyes, because even the good that you've done for your mother, you will regret. And some would say, how? Because you feel within yourself that you should have done better. Your mother wants a house, brother, build her a mansion. Your brother wants the kitchen done, no worry, you know what? I'll get the kitchen and the bathroom done for you, mum. So even though you might give a hand, even though your mother might ask for a hand the same way, give her arm the same way that when we come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with a hand span, we come to us with an arm. This is our mother. And another thing that went through my mind when my mother passed away, wallahi, my opportunity to get into Jannah has been closed now. Obviously, we'll go to Jannah through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. But one of the opportunities to get to Jannah is under the feet of your mother. And how many of us, tell yourselves, like within yourselves, how many of us actually go down that path of, we see our mother or father give us a phone call, and we ignore the phone call? Or how many times have we kissed our teeth towards our mother? How many times have we rolled our eyes towards our mother? Or told her, you know what? Not today, mum. I ain't got time for you. How many of us come in and out of the same house, yeah? We live under the same roofs as our parents, and wallahi, we don't even salam them. The only time we see them is breakfast or dinner time. But alhamdulillah, all the calamities and the struggle that we went through as my family, it brought us nothing but closer to each other. Nowadays, I'm seeing brothers, and this is for the youngsters as well, bro. I know majority of you, probably 100% of you have social media. I have social media. And I can tell you this, wallahi, it's one of the biggest illnesses or diseases of our time. Just today, brothers have called me and said to me, Akhi, try and sort out a situation that happened between some brothers online, and they're beefing each other. They're causing problems with one another. They're slandering each other. They're now gone to the level, Muslims are what? Cursing each other's wives, cursing each other's mothers. These are Muslims. And like us, me, you, and every single one of us are sitting here, look up to them because of their followers and their shares and their likes. And this is something what people don't understand, including myself. The more people that follow you on social media is the more people that will either speak for you or speak against you in front of Allah. Because this is evidence, either with or against you. So majority of us, and I'm going to touch up on something that I feel like a lot of the youth do. We see a crackhead. A crackhead is an addict. We see a crackhead, we see an addict. What do? What's the first thing we do? We take out our phone, we start recording them, we start putting them on our social media in order to get the likes and the shares and the comments, just to see what people say. And the views. Facts. I was once upon a time there, so don't deny it within yourselves. I used to do that. Until I came across someone, and I actually asked a question about some addict in Shepherd's Bush. I said to him, if this guy, people speak good of him, why is he living on the street? Why is he an addict? Why is he taking drugs? Why is he begging people to give him some money in order for him to go and buy alcohol and drugs? Someone sat me down in the chicken shop and decided to say, Amen, this person had a very good job. He lived in Shepherd's Bush, but he worked in Canary Wharf. He went to work, had a very good job, had a very good income. Guess what happens? He comes back home. When he reaches his home, he sees a fire. His house is on fire. His wife and 2 kids are in the house being burnt alive. And he lost his wife and 2 kids. And in that sense and that trauma, what that trauma did to him is what? It traumatized him to such a sense, he lost his mind. Those people, they don't believe in Allah. They're married to the dunya. They worship the dunya. So when they don't have no iman within them, what do they turn to? Alcohol, drugs, so on and so forth. And this is what it did to the man. So wallahi, from that day onwards, I said to myself, I would never look at an addict or a crackhead the same way again. Why am I going to make fun of them? I see a lot of brothers do that, a lot of Muslims on their social media. And I always advise them, Akhi, trust me, you don't know what they're going through. Another brother, his wife and 4 kids got into a car crash in Ealing years ago. He's still got a house, very wealthy. There's another guy. He's never set foot back into his house, even though he's a very wealthy guy. He lives underneath a bridge. Hammersmith flyover. I've gone to speak to him. Why are you doing this to yourself, knowing that you've got money to your name? You've got a house that's been already paid for. I've lost my wife and 4 kids. How do I live with myself knowing I can step foot in that house? But yet, us, like a scumbag, and I'm sorry to use these words, but it's not like we haven't heard much worse words. And all due respect to the elders, especially Imam Shakil, sometimes the youth need to know what's reality. Me, like a scumbag, everything that I've done for my parents, wallahi, I regret it. The good things. You see, when your mother passes away, yeah, she's the core of your life. You know how we got the sun? The sun cannot operate how it does and spin and so on and so forth. I don't know if anybody believes in flat earth or whatnot here, but as the sun, it has a core itself. The sun itself, the earth itself could be destroyed if the core is affected. And I said this to my wife, subhanAllah. And I said this to my sisters. Now that my mother has returned back to Allah, I do not know how to love or care for anyone, even though I've got my own kids. Why? Because whatever I was receiving from my wife, stuff from my mother, I was giving it to my wife, I was giving it to my family, and so on and so forth. You understand where I'm coming from? Jazakallah khairan, bro. And this is the reality of it. And obviously I understand brothers want to glorify this lifestyle. There's rappers. And nowadays what makes it worse is that there's Muslim rappers. There's Muslim rappers out there. And wallahi, best believe, they might be doing all of this in public, but that's their fitna. No one knows if these rappers could be better than any of us here right now. Even Hafiz of the Quran. And you do not know that someone could be Hafiz of the Quran but have the worst of characteristics. I spoke out against a rapper. Subhanallah, I got advice. I ended up, putting my hands up. Wallahi, knowing that this rapper is way better than me. So I understand some of us might be glorifying them and so on and so forth, but there's certain mistakes and certain sins that we're doing behind closed doors that Allah's hiding. And if he was to expose us, no one would salam us. So some of us might be saying, Akhi, this rapper's doing this rapper's talking about this, look at the music he's wearing. Akhi, how do you know what he's doing behind closed doors? How do you know how much charity he's giving? How do you know how much khair he's doing? That's his fitna, bro. Your fitna could be drug dealing. Your fitna could be whatever, selling drugs. Or going out with women. No one knows. Your fitna could be cars. You're more worried and you're more into cars than what? Your own family. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's your fitna. Everybody's got their own fitna. So one thing I knew, that no matter how many times I tried to point fingers at people, there's 3 other fingers pointing back at myself. My own hand is speaking against me. Look, I'm pointing. There's 3 other fingers pointing back at myself. Your own hand is telling you, bro, humble yourself. And every single one of us. Akhi, you think I'm sitting down right now, I'm wearing a thobe, I got this beard. Obviously, I don't wear a kufi because I had to slick my hair back. But this stuff don't mean nothing. You think this thobe and this, like, what I'm wearing and this beard shows me that I'm a better Muslim than any of you? Of course not. And I've come to realize, wallahi, the more I live in this dunya, the more I'm disgusted with it. But the youngsters, anyone under the age of 20, maybe 25, you lot are lost in the source. You lot are lost to what society is showing you. So if you believe everything that the social media is showing you about this glamorous lifestyle, surely you must believe what they say about Islam. They're calling us every name under the sun. But you can't pick and choose, bro. You either stick with social media and everything you believe in them, or you know what? I'm only going to agree about what they say about Islam. No, that can't be true. No, akhi, you agree to everything. So if you agree to that lifestyle of a drug dealer, musician, or whatever it may be, you must agree what they say about Islam. Because guess what? There's a lot of Muslim rappers nowadays are coming to the scene. Wallahi, one brother comes to me in one of my talks, after my talk. He goes to me, Akhi, I got a twin sister. Bro, I am scared if this girl, my twin sister, goes to other men and starts to talk to them, or has a boyfriend. But guess what, Akhi? I said, go on. He said to me, but I made her best friends with my girlfriend. I said, excuse me? Your sister that you are worried about, not to have a boyfriend, is best friends with your girlfriend. How does that make sense? I said to him, Akhi, your foundation from the beginning is wrong. If you're serious about the girl, go ahead, go and approach her parents. How could you be worried about your sister, your twin as well? But you're in other matters, you're befriending her with your girlfriend that you know the relationship is haram. Another brother, I walked by the river quite a few years ago. I saw 2, like a Muslim youth and a girl. Something in my heart told me, and this is not to brag, by the way, that's between me and Allah, but I'm just letting you know. Something told me you have to speak to them. It's 11 o'clock, it's late night, it's winter, it's cold. Something told me, go and approach the brother. So I called the brother over, I said, Akhi, I do not know if you're married or not. If you are married, Akhi, it's late, go home. These times, a lot of Muslims were being attacked I can't remember for what it was for, and a lot of people used to get acid thrown in their face. So I said to them, Akhi, you're young. If you are married with your wife, it's 11 o'clock, it's cold, go home. Look, no one's out. We don't know about these drunk men might come and attack you and so on and so forth. Would your wife? And if she isn't your wife, Akhi, trying to fear Allah, go down the path. If you're serious about marrying her, go and approach her parent. So I gave him my number. Wallahi, 10 minutes later, he gives me a call, said to me, Akhi, I put her in an Uber. I'm sorry for lying to you to tell you that she was my wife. She was a girl I was seeing, and I want to go for a marriage. And Akhi, what's your issue? Because Akhi, my dad's not around. Okay, have you gone to your local imam? Go and speak to your imam. Your dad's not around. He's away in a different country. He's left you and your mother and your siblings. Go to your local imam. Because Akhi, if I go to them, the local imam knows the family, it might cause more friction. Akhi, what do you want? I want to marry her. Okay, let's go and approach the father, me and you. We went and approached the father. The father denied, refused anything to do with nikah. These are 17, 18 years old, very young. Guess what happens next? The brother's patient. He started working on himself. He started working on his connection with Allah. He started working on his connection with who? His mother, because his father's not around. He started working on connection with one of his brothers that were in prison. Working, just building connection, just building the ties of kinship. 10 months later, after not giving up, the father said, I will let you marry my daughter. Subhanallah, after 10 months of waiting, After 10 months of avoiding her and only going through her father and fearing Allah and working on connection with none other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah made it happen. Allah made it happen. He got married. Alhamdulillah, they're happily married. It's been like more than 4 years now, and they got a beautiful child. You see what happens when you put your trust in Allah? And for those of you that do have mothers still around, her dua is one of the strongest weapons to a believer. And I might get this mistaken, and maybe Imam Shakil could speak about this after, inshallah. But there was someone that came, I believe, to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I can't remember. I heard about this so long ago. This one, I was in jail. I heard about this. The Imam told me. He said to me, someone came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he said, I have killed someone. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, was he a Muslim? He goes, yes. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam then, I think, correct me inshallah, Imam Shakil, yeah? Sorry. Sorry about that, I have a dry throat, man. Forgive me. And then, so we asked him, is your mother around? Like, is she still alive? He said, no. And he said if I'm not paraphrasing, in order for one of the ways of getting forgiven or anything would have been through your mother's dua or something along them lines. And Imam Shakir will speak about this after, inshallah, in detail. Just to go to show you how strong and how meaningful your mother is. And so many of us, wallahi, we speak so bad of them to their face, behind their back. I am a man of 7 siblings. I understand the youth, some of them, by the age of 14, 15, 16, you lot are going through an identity crisis. So you start to question everything in your life. I was once upon a time there. We understand, there's nothing wrong with it. And I understand that sometimes, even though you live with your siblings, you get into fights, arguments. Nowadays, we have brothers that live under the same household, or sisters that live under the same household that don't even speak to one another. I know 2 guys, no Muslims, from Grove Park. His older brother, listen to this, alhamdulillah, obviously they're not Muslim, but just goes to show you the reality of how when you're listening to drill music, when you're listening to things that intoxicate your mind and your heart, because you cannot be balancing the Quran and the music at the same time. One will overcome the other, without fail. So subhanallah, the brother ended up stabbing his little brother because his little brother wore his tracksuit without permission. He wore his tracksuit without permission. And this is what it's come down to. There's no fear of Allah, no religion. And guess what else is getting to you? Social media, the music, and you're using that to do things like this. But like I said to you, I'm only going to be speaking here because I said to Imam Shakir, subhanAllah, I haven't been well. But alhamdulillah, I've come down to speak to you brothers, to letting you know that this lifestyle of going down this path of a so-called bad boy doesn't exist in Islam. I understand, bro. You're going through a calamity with everything that's going on in society. If you're really serious about the deen, Imam Shakir and many other people in this community have activities that's going on for the youth. You see, at my time, we had goals. I don't know if you remember Goals Pits. It's in Catford where we go to play football. Subhanallah, wallahi, the moment that place became private, everybody turned to gangs. Everybody turned to making other ways, because that was the only thing that brought unity, even from the guys that were bad boys. Once they became that private and they sold it to St. Thomas, I think, or one of the universities, everybody decided to go on the streets. The same people that played football together are the same people that are now stabbing each other. This is what it's come down to. So when you got even many masajid, which upsets me the most, is the youth, they don't come to the masjid. Right, bring your friends here, Muslim or not. You think any of the masajid would say to you, no? They close their doors. on the non-believers, the non-Muslims. You finish school? No worries, Akhi. School finishes. Maghrib is around the corner. Come down to the masjid. Bring your non-Muslim friends to the masjid. Imam Shakib could tell you, when I was coming here, back when I was 15, 16, even college times, all of my non-Muslim friends, they used to come to the masjid. Some of them, they used to even pray with me and they don't even know what's going on. But they do the actions with me. When they used to see Imam Shakib, they used to call him uncle. Out of love and respect. Some of them that didn't want to do the actions of prayer, they would just chill in the back of the masjid and just relax. You are your company, so you're Muslim and you have non-believers from school and college, whatnot, they can only know about Islam through your actions. And what do? You're the one, as Muslims, would show them the bad example. This is not from us, man. Islam is the fastest and one of the biggest religions growing right now. And what upsets me the most is that whatever people are showing them on social media about Islam, guess who's making them right? Us, the youth. Brothers and sisters have got themselves a little platform. They start arguing with each other online based on opinions. Islam's not based on opinions, bro. It's black and white, it's facts. We've got the Quran and the Sunnah and the most and the best understanding of the Salaf. That's it. Brothers nowadays want to give themselves every single title. I'm this, I'm Sunni, I'm Shia, I'm Salafi, I'm this. Bro, you're Muslim. That's it. You pray like the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ prayed. You love what the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ loved. You see, every single prophet had a fitna. Prophet Lut alayhi salam had what? We already know that what's going on in our society today, the LGBT. One of the biggest fitness to who? Adam alayhi salam was what? Shaitan himself, because he didn't want to prostrate to him. Musa alayhi salam had who? Fir'aun. And so on and so forth. All the prophets had their fitna of their time. But only the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, to how I analyze things, is the only one today, and the last prophet, that's got every single fitna that I can name and think about that the prophets went through is going on at the time of his ummah. And some of us are letting him down because we believe we love the Prophet ﷺ, including myself. I'm one of the biggest hypocrites at times. And we don't fall into hypocrisy. I say one thing to some brothers, I might be doing the worst at home or to my parents. We fall into that fitna. Like I said to you, I'm not here sitting in front of you thinking I'm better than you, bro. I'm one of the biggest waste men here. And I'm not talking about them rubbish men. You know the terms of a waste man. You know what a waste man is on road? I'm that guy. A guy looks at me right now and tells me where you from or where you're looking at. Actually, I'm putting my head down. I will become a waste man. I know if I retaliate, exchange words, one of us is going to get hurt. Why do I want to get stabbed? I've got a wife and kids at home. I had a mother or even a father at home. I have siblings that I don't want them to bury me. Why am I going to get into this altercation? Brothers nowadays walk around with boys, and I've seen this among brothers, especially brothers. You're with a group of brothers outside a chicken shop. You see a guy walking around, he's wearing Jordans or this and that. You start making a mockery. And I saw it with my own eyes. You're making a mockery out of his Jordans. His Jordans are fake. His Moncler hat is fake. Is your character real in the eyes of Allah? How you're carrying yourself, is it real in the eyes of Allah? If the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was to be here right now, you think he'll be happy with how you're acting? He will definitely not be happy with me, boy. I know this for sure. I have failed him. I have failed my parents. But I'm trying. Every single day that we wake up, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is doing what? He's giving us another chance to return back to him and get closer to him. You may think, you know what? I woke up today, my alarm went off, so I've got work to go to, I've got school to go to. No. Islam is your priority. I know a brother owns a business. He owns a construction company. He's a white man. And he's got a strong white man accent. He calls up, one Muslim guy calls him and he says to him, bro, I'm looking for a job. So the guy starts questioning him. He doesn't let the guy on the phone know that he's Muslim. So he goes to him, Akhi, No, he goes to him, okay, so what do you do? And so on and so forth. He tells him his qualifications. He goes, okay. He goes to him, so he goes, based on your name, I'll take it as you're Muslim. This is the white Muslim, by the way. But he's not letting him know he's Muslim. Because based on your name, I can tell you're Muslim. I heard you guys have this Friday thing going on where you have to go to a masjid, where you have to go to a mosque. What's that all about? He knows. But he's trying to test him. The brother goes to me, the brother goes to the guy. He goes, oh, that's not that important because Islam says if you're working. So he started making up his own Islam. He said to him, if I'm working during a Friday, I don't really need to, I just need to work, I just need to pray during my lunchtime, or I just need to pray during when I have time, like as in at work, yeah? Then the guy exposed himself, the brother exposed himself and said, Assalamu alaikum akhi, I am Muslim myself. He goes to me, how can I hire someone that doesn't take his religion seriously and I think he's going to take my business seriously? From when you don't take Allah and his religion serious, best believe nothing in your life will go well. In the remembrance of Allah, do the hearts find what? Ease, rest. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do not be like those that forgot Allah, for indeed Allah makes you forget yourselves. Allah makes you forget yourself. And some of you may think, how? How would Allah make you forget yourself without even realizing? You put everything and anyone before yourself. And I heard this beautiful saying, stop taking medicine for someone else's headache. You see, nowadays, especially the imams, with all due respect to the imams, yeah? They got the hardest jobs in our communities. An imam could get 4 phone calls in the same day, if not the same hour, of 4 different people wanting to commit suicide. And he has to attend to every single one of them. Then he's got wife and husband problems. Then maybe he's got his own problems at home, or his own problems in the masjid, his own problems at his business, if he's got a business on the side, his own problems with his health. He might be going through this. But guess what? He has to attend to every single one of them, knowing that, you know what, he can't put himself first because he chose that role. And this is his, what? His way of giving back to the community and making sure everyone is set before him. And this is what happens. And as communities, we neglect it. I've been here with Imam Shakil many times. And Imam Shakil's witnesses, some of you witnessed it. We've seen fights happen in the masjid. Brothers, this is a big disrespect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, first and foremost. Secondly, it's the biggest disrespect and a slap in the face of Imam Shakil. This happens in many communities, by the way. I'm only speaking about this because I've seen it. Imam Shakil spoken to the brothers, grown-ups, a few Fridays ago, during khutbah, or while the adhan was happening. 2 grown-ups decided to have an argument. For what? Because one of them didn't want to move forward. This is what it's come down to. Pride, ego, arrogance. Do you think it's fair for him? As our Imam? Do you think it's fair for ourselves while we're seeing all of this going on? And we are so busy wanting to want success. We want victory in the ummah. How do you expect to have victory and success in the ummah if you yourself is not upon the what? The right understanding of Islam. You're upon the understanding of the roads. You're upon the understanding of your friends. Upon the, the understanding of your co-workers and your boss at work. That's the understanding you're upon. So you forget your deen. And the deen is becoming nothing now to brothers. Why? We're neglecting ourselves. This is how Allah makes you forget yourself. Because you're putting everything and anyone as a priority. Little background story of myself. I'm from this community. I came here from Iraq when I was very young. I think at the age of 9 years old. As time went on, we decided to get involved. Not even decided, we got involved into little problems on the road due to helping others. We helped others, the problems came back to us. In the process of it, we ended up going to prison. I ended up going to prison. I did my time, alhamdulillah, I came out. In prison, I became very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In my time in prison, I read as much books as I can, listened to as much CDs as I can, Islamic CDs, by the way. Yeah. And it made me a better person. It made me a better Muslim. Came out. And then I remember I come in here after a few months of coming out of prison. I came to the masjid to pray Salat al-Asr. As soon as I prayed Salat al-Asr, I was with a brother walking down towards the chicken shop, Chicken, as you would know, which is just down there, yeah? So we're walking this direction. As we're walking down towards the direction of Chicken, we came across a guy that I didn't like the way he was moving. He was moving a bit dodgy. So the brother I was with, I told him, Akhi, just act like we're not together. So just in case if this is one of my enemies from back in the day, let me deal with him. Bear in mind, it's my first day at work. So I walked. I saw him. Ended up being someone I went to school with. Happy days. As soon as I got closer to him, we started talking. We spudded, everything went well, everything happens. As I'm walking away from him, the same guy decides to stab me right here on the side of, yeah? And the knife comes out here. So the knife went in my back and it came out the front. And the knife he used was a Rambo. Yeah? It's the ones that you see in movies and Bollywood movies and you know them ones. It was about, I think it's about this big. So it came out of my stomach. I've turned around, I've tried to fight him, but I've become very weak because of losing blood. He runs away. I've ran into the chicken shop. The chicken shop owner turns up, alhamdulillah, put my head on his lap, stroking it like a dog. I'm not even kidding, yeah? I think my man was just reassuring that everything's going to be okay. I'm bleeding out now. This is a guy that I went to school with. I've never had a problem with him. Never got into an argument with him. Nor have I ever had a problem with him before I went to prison. So sometimes, is that when I went to jail, I made a promise to my mother and my father that when I come out of prison, I'm not going to get myself into trouble in any way, shape, or form. The only time I will get my hands dirty is in the state of what? Self-defense. So if a problem comes to me, I have to defend myself. Islamically, you have to defend yourself. Understand?